Hi, I'm Aditya Nain.
Hi, I'm Gokul Narayan.
So I'm a financial consultant, educator, and writer with expertise in North American and Indian investment.
I'm a cyber law professor and an intellectual property rights professor and a complete novice at investment. And this is the Nain and Narayan show.
Let's go.
So, in the previous episode that we'd shot, we'd spoken about the idea of an emergency fund. We'd like to take that discussion a little further. So, Aditya, we'd spoken about the fact that to calculate this emergency fund or this sustenance money, first of all, one would need to create an Excel sheet of the expenses that we have monthly. And then after we've got that accumulated amount, add some buffer money into it and then multiply it by 3 to 6 times, depending upon how the amount that makes you feel safe.
Yeah.
But apart from these, what else would you suggest our viewers do to be able to come to a concrete figure? So one of the questions that I had was, I have done this on numerous occasions, but I have found myself dipping into these funds very often, and therefore they keep depleting. So
Yeah.
could you share some insights on that?
Okay, so that brings up financial discipline, Gokul.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that, as a habit, it's great for an investor also to have, and it's also great for your emergency fund. So it's just something that you should. I guess it's easy to say, but it's something that you should take a little bit of be aware of being more disciplined financially. What that means is an emergency fund is not fun. Nobody likes it. It also seems like a waste because most of the times there isn't an emergency, thankfully, and so it seems like that money is being wasted. But it we all know, because we're living through a pandemic, that it can be extremely useful. Um, so make sure that you maintain that discipline, even though it may suck, and you just don't want to put that money aside. It really just comes down to that simple point, and that same financial discipline will serve you well as an investor as well, because, as I like to say, investing is about doing a few simple things consistently, and that
Correct.
consistency requires some discipline.
All right. So and okay, so let's presume that I figure out a way not to be naughty and keep dipping into these funds every once in a while and depleting them. But how often should I reevaluate or revisit the idea of an emergency fund, or once it's made, it's done?
Right. Yeah. So as you said, Gokul, an emergency fund is sort of like a snapshot, right? Because you're taking your expenses today and then multiplying it by 3 or 6, and so that's basically a snapshot of today's emergency requirement. But this may not constantly remain the same, because let's say 1 year down the line, if your expenses increase for some reason, let's say your rent increases, or let's say you
Okay.
happen to buy a house, you get a home loan, you need to make sure that your emergency fund reflects your new reality. So,
Okay.
firstly, what we can say for sure is the emergency fund amount needs to be reevaluated every time there's a significant change in your financial or family circumstances. So, typically,
Okay.
these are what a change in job. Um, it can be a change in the place you live, as I just said. It can be, let's say, getting married. It can be having a kid. It can be getting divorced. So these are the major life events that warrant
Medical
a
ex
relook.
Any kind of medical expenses or emergencies that might take place.
Yeah, absolutely. You happen to now be responsible, or somebody becomes dependent on you, and they have a medical issue. So anticipating future medical expenses. So life events, that's one, and also, as good practice, just evaluate it every year. Um, there's nothing that doesn't benefit from a yearly evaluation, I guess, and emergency funds is just one of those things. So life event or annual.
All right. So life event, but at the bare minimum once annually.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And so I also have this question, Aditya, where do I keep this money saved? Should I have a separate savings bank account? Because another thing that we will be talking about later on, and I do have questions about that, is the fact that keeping money in the savings account actually is like losing money to the market. and therefore that's a different discussion, I know, altogether. But where should I keep this money? So if I've figured out how much that amount should be, where do I keep it?
Under your mattress. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, okay, let me answer this in two ways. For people starting out in investments, the safest and easiest way to manage an emergency fund is to keep it in your bank savings account. So the bank savings account, because you know how to operate the savings account, you do that regularly. And so in the case of an emergency, you're not going to worry about how to get the money out because you know exactly what to do. You're used to it out of habit. That's one. And the money in a savings account is not locked in any way. It's liquid. It's your money. You can access it whenever you want to. And there's no gap between you wanting the money and you getting the money. So
Correct.
the easiest is put it in a bank savings account. The problem, as Gokul, I think you're going to anticipate, is that the interest you get on a savings account, as you said, is very little. And as of now, it's probably lower than inflation. Definitely lower than inflation if you take tax into consideration, because you pay tax on interest gained in a savings account as well.
Correct.
So once you get a little more familiar with investments, and since we're going to talk quite a bit about mutual funds through this entire series, one way to hold emergency funds is in what's called a liquid mutual fund.
Okay.
We won't get into the details here because that will require understanding a bit about different types of investments in mutual funds. But a liquid mutual fund, later on, just keep in mind, is something you should look at to park your emergency funds. It's the safest and most liquid form of investing in mutual funds.
Okay, so even if I'm keeping my money in a savings account, can I take this approach that since it's an emergency fund, and even if I'm not losing too much of that money by just keeping it parked there? So, for example, if 100 rupees tomorrow becomes 99, I'm okay with that, because what I'm looking for is absolute liquidity and not growth in that amount. And therefore, initially, when I start off, just keeping or having a completely separate savings bank account in which this amount is just kept aside could be decent enough, because I'm not looking for it to grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not the amount that I'm looking for.
Yeah, if you need to keep a separate savings account for it, by all means, go ahead and get one and just keep your money in that. Sometimes I tell, since this is my work, I also tell clients, keep maybe a separate account for your emergency funds, and maybe in the same account keep your yearly travel funds that you put into every month. So let's say you as a family want to take a yearly trip, you can have a separate account that handles both of these requirements together. But Gokul, that's an interesting point and important, I think, because it comes down to choosing what's more important. Is protecting yourself against inflation more important for your emergency funds, or is absolute safety more important? And in the case of the emergency fund, we want to prioritize safety over anything at all, including gains keeping up with inflation. So if you're losing a little bit of money to inflation, it's not ideal, but
at least initially, I guess it's okay.
Yeah, it is okay, because it's not going to pinch you. I mean, the rate at which you will sort of lose that money, so to speak, won't pinch you. Just to clarify, you're not going to lose your money. You're going to lose purchasing power because the interest won't keep up with inflation.
So I don't want can we just clarify? No, can we just clarify this? So, for example, if just consider, for example, last year's example. If we had 100 rupees parked in a savings bank account with a rate of interest of about 4%, 4%, that would, after a period of 1 year, let's presume that it was all put in one go, after a period of 1 year would have become 104 rupees.
Yeah.
But considering the fact that you would have paid tax on those 4 rupees, plus the fact that inflation was about, please correct me, 5.5%.
Yeah.
You're basically looking at 100 rupees less 5.5 plus 4. you're basically looking at a deficit of about 1.5 rupees. So your 100 rupees last year, which was kept in a savings bank account, this year has become 98.5. Is that a
Yes.
fair calculation?
Yeah, that's fair, because the interest amount of 4 was less than the inflation amount of 5, let's say, or 5.5
Correct.
is what you took it at. So it's like inflation is eating into your money, but very slowly and little by little. So ideally, an investment wants to at least give you returns equal to inflation. I mean, of course, more, but at least equal to inflation. But since this is an emergency fund, it's not an investment. And so you're not concerned about the returns, you're concerned about safety. And so the primary objective of the emergency fund is safety and not growth. Growth can be the primary concern for investments, but not the emergency fund. So it's okay if you're losing money. A liquid mutual fund, as I said, does solve this problem most times, where the returns you get, at least historically speaking, for the last few years, have managed to stay ahead of inflation. And so that will be your next option once you get a little bit into understanding these funds.
So step 2 of learning to drive the rally car is to figure out where the gears are. But that's step 2. First, let's get into the car. So thanks so much, Aditya, for this insight into emergency funds. If you guys have any questions for us, feel free, as usual, to leave it in your comments below and let us know what you'd like to hear. Or if you've got more questions for Aditya on the emergency fund, which I may not have thought about. Thank you so much for listening in, Aditya.
Thanks a lot. Yes, and I really want to hear what people have to say, because I want to talk about what people want to listen to. And so, let us know, and we'll be happy to discuss that. Thanks, Gokul.
Bye-bye.